Hey everybody, welcome back to DBS. Today I wanted to show you my Twink build and we're talking about Twinking in 2018. Oh boy. Okay, here's my setup. I got all these raw weapons on hand. I have the +3 rings. This is my stats. My starting class was the Herald. Back when Astora Straight Sword was OP, that's why I had started with the Herald. And I went through the DLC, both of them, all the way. So I had nothing dropped to me. And we're gonna go and kill some noobs with the Red Eye Soapstone at the High Wall of Lothric. Soul level 20. Let's do this. So why are we talking about Twinking in Dark Souls 3 in 2018? Well, there was a couple of Reddit posts, I think yesterday or today, I can't remember. My good buddy Ian Amish made a video talking about it, and then it was like a big discussion. So like every couple of months, like the whole Twinking situation comes to light, and then people complain about Twinking and why do people twink, and people on both sides, they say, well, yeah, you know, because we want to kill gankers. And then one's like, yeah, it's going to give the guys the real Souls experience. So I'm just gonna like really briefly tell you what Twinking is. You probably already know if you're watching this channel, but let's just familiarize yourself with the term. So basically, Twinking is using high level and or end game gear against people who are basically a lot lower, same level as you, but they have no access to this equipment, giving you a distinct advantage. In Dark Souls 3, Twinking exists. It is not as bad as Dark Souls 1 Twinking. It's not as bad as Bloodborne Twinking. It's not as bad as Dark Souls 2 a gap ring Twinking, but it's still Twinking nonetheless. And you've got certain tools that'll help you. The main one is to level Vigor, as that will give you a huge advantage for survival, and to use raw weapons or heavy weapons because they dish out a lot more damage at low level because of scaling, and using, for example, Prisoner's Chain, which gives you basically 15 free levels, using Pine Bundles at low level as well. They give like ridiculous amount of extra damage. As you can see in the background, I'm using a raw crow quills and I'm doing insane amount of damage. Plus using the DLC rings, which give you a lot more attack, not attack power, give me more HP, more stamina, and more stamina regen. I'm using the Hunter's Ring to give me 5 points extra dexterity. I went for a dexterity twink. A popular twink build is using the Vort Hammer, which he relies on strength. Another popular twink weapon is Dark Hand. Right, so why do I twink? Okay, let's put it this way. First of all, this soul level 20 character, I used it as a challenge to myself to play the game at low level, so that's one. But then I used it to make low level Dark Moon Blade summons to like basically help the noobs out by trying to kill twinkers. And whenever I invade at low level, I usually only go for the gank squads, which are rampant around for Crucifixion Woods, sometimes in the High Wall, but mostly at Crucifixion Woods. A lot of the sides are saying, well, this is not fair, this is not something that people should be doing, we're giving PvE and noob players a hard time. Well, let's put it this way. Ever since Dark Souls 1, and even Demon Souls even, because I was there at the time, Twinking is part of the game. There's no way around it. From Software tried, and people still found ways. They nerfed weapons down. Still, people are finding ways and finding the best tactics and the best strategies. It is part of the Souls vocabulary now. This is something that we cannot escape. Now, how do you fight Twinking? Well, you really can't. You can't force people to change their style of play. You can't force people to accept a certain rule. People find enjoyment out of it. Honestly, I don't find enjoyment in Twinking because, as you can see in the video, I'm just curb stomping these noobs. And I don't mean noobs in a bad way, but obviously these guys are not Souls veterans, and or they're not, this is like their first time playing the game. As you can see, it's very obvious. Like, I gave them no mercy. I went all out. Actually, not even all out. Like, it could have been worse for them. As you can see in a couple of videos down, I was actually like toying around with these guys. So obviously, if I was using a red summon sign, I was not invading. So someone willingly chose to fight me. Of course, they don't know that what I'm gonna come in with all these weapons and come in with all this tactics and all this advantages. Now, in Dark Souls 3, because of the way that matchmaking works and how many Estus you get when you invade, you get half your Estus, and that you can have password summoned phantoms, and you can have twinkers as well running through the game, because the host can be a twink. So you can have a host who's twinking, ganking and twinking at the same time. If you're not prepared, you're gonna be at a slight or huge disadvantage because of the Estus and the damage and the survivability. There have been guys on the channel, sorry, not my channel, but I mean on the YouTube in general, excuse my crappy English, they tried no twink invasions, and people like Project Goof and other people off my top of my head I can't remember, but they tried, and to some moderate success. It all depends about outplaying your opponent. However, in a certain situation, when you're against 2, 3 or more, you're definitely not going to survive unless you use like really advanced tactics and really playing the level against them. Most of the time you're going to have all these guys coming at you, and you're definitely not going to survive, especially that each guy has about 7 Estus, especially if they're over leveled phantoms, and their defenses are, although the HP is reduced and attack power is reduced, but they still have their armor and they have all their spells. Just recently I was playing in the Crucifixion Woods, and someone over leveled phantom hit me with a great soul, deep soul, the soul dregs, and he took about 80% of my health. Obviously he was an over leveled phantom. So twinking for me is using it to fight the ganks and to fight the twinks for me. Some people use it to just grief new players, or people who are not prepared and people who don't play with this game often, or they don't know all the ins and outs of it, just to give them a hard time. Obviously meta is meta. So, but here, for example, again, I'm using +2 weapons at soul level 20. As I have a distinct advantage. Whenever someone hits me, they barely do any damage, and I have full Estus at 7 charges. So my thoughts on twinking is that it's become part of the Souls dictionary. It's part of the gameplay. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is, if you're a host who's still new to the game, is just pray to God that someone takes it easy on you. You have the option of summoning phantoms to help you out. You have the summoning blue sentinels or dark moon blades to help you out. There's not much I can really say. It's a fact of life. It's not really given a nice reputation by the Souls community. A lot of people complain, especially Dark Souls 1, if you remember, like invading soul level 10 with people wearing full havels and like dark bead one shot. Those days are over. And the remaster, of course, when it came out, they tried to do anti-twink things, and it still happened anyway. Currently on my Bloodborne, I have a level 43, which is the lowest level you can to invade, with a fully gemmed blood-tinged Chikage, killing people in like 2 hits, distinct advantage. So basically, it's 2018. It's time to let the whole thing go. There's not going to be a Souls game coming out soon. So just let it be. Enjoy your time. You want to twink, go ahead. Make sure that you know that some people are going to get you. You might be better than these guys who don't know what they're doing. However, some people can outplay you. And I hope one day you won't get summoned into the world of Project Goof, who would definitely give you a hard time no matter how well equipped you are. So that's all I just wanted to say, again, unscripted. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys very soon. I hope you enjoyed this onslaught and massacre. Cheers, guys.